Hey, this is Mr. Smith, and I just wanted to, I guess it's like a little, I want to give you a little pep talk and also talk to you about what it's going to take to be successful in this course. Now, I usually don't give this talk until after my first test in a regular face-to-face course because I find it's more meaningful for students after they take the first test and they don't do so well. But I really don't want to see that happen to you, and especially since we're online, I just want to give you all the encouragement I can before you get started. And so I would like to share a couple of things with you to think about, and I hope that they might be somewhat of a motivation for you. I'll tell you, as an instructor, the most important thing to me is that my students are successful. Not only in my class, but especially if you're going to be taking subsequent math courses, I want you to be successful in those as well. So I want you to set yourself up for success. So I've got three things I'd like you to think about. Three things I want to talk about. First one, I want to just ask you a question. Are you here to get a piece of paper, or are you here to get an education? And I'd like to tell you a story that I think kind of brings a very powerful message with it. I have a good friend named Andy. Great guy. I love to be around him. He makes me laugh. He's just a great, fun guy to be with. But Andy, he wanted to be in criminal justice and be a policeman. And he knew that someday he wanted to move up in the ranks. And so he went to get a criminal justice degree, a bachelor's. And so he was at Long Beach State in Southern California. He got his degree. And he right out of when he graduated, he landed a great job at in Orange County as an officer. And if you know that area at all, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful place to live. I mean, he hit the jackpot. He's going to make great money. Just a great place to work. But it turned out, just literally a couple of months later, he had lost his job. So what happened? Well, Andy wasn't the best writer, and he knew it. And so whenever he had any kind of significant writing assignment, his girlfriend would do those assignments for him. And so when he got out and he started working in the police force, he literally couldn't write a decent police report. So I think Andy did go on and find a decent career in law enforcement. But he would tell you that he definitely missed out on a great opportunity there, and he should have done better when he was in school. So, I guess what I would tell you is what my mom told me. Whatever you're going to do, or wherever you are, you need to make the most of it. You're already putting in a lot of time and money and effort to be here. I would just encourage you to make the most of it, that your education makes a difference. If you can read, write, and do math and arithmetic and all that good stuff, that goes really far in a lot of places. So you want to be strong in those skills. If you have areas of weakness there, you want to work on those. If you're not good with technology or computers, take some classes in computers. Get better at that. If you're not great working with people, well, I hate to tell you this, but when you get out in the real world, there's a lot of jobs that really appreciate people that can work with people and get along with people. What you want to do is work to make yourself a better person, a more educated person, a more thoughtful person, better critical thinker. I'll tell you, especially when, before the virus hit, the job market was tremendous. But even in that market, I'll tell you, the best jobs are very competitive. So everything you can do to make yourself a better, stronger, more well-rounded person will help you in the long run and maybe help you land that dream job someday. All right, so let's move on to number 2. How are you going to be successful in this course? Well, you have access to all the stuff that's in my math lab, the videos that help me solve this, the book, and all that stuff. But you also have access to my notes, the ones that I usually do in the classroom, as well as videos. Now, I haven't made videos for many of the sections, but that's something I'm trying to get completed this session. I'll do my best to get them all done, or at least certainly the more challenging sections, but hopefully all of them. Um, so I'll just say, if you're moving to trig or calculus someday, it's extremely important that you build a great foundation in algebra. Students that fail those courses don't fail them because of the trig or the calculus. They fail them because their algebra skills are not strong. And so when you leave here, the stronger your algebra skills are, the better off you'll be. And you also want to be studying in such a way that things are gonna stick with you long term, and not just go away right after the course is done. How you study makes a difference. So, for those of you that maybe don't have the greatest foundation and you want to put yourself in a great position to be successful in those higher level courses, here's my recommendation. Print out my notes and watch my videos and fill out the notes. And then go do the homework. Try to minimize how much you use the help aid in my math lab. Just keep in mind, if you use the help buttons, you may want to make a note of those problems because you may not know them yet. You've just gotten through them. You've got to be careful. Sometimes students in my math lab, they are constantly getting help to get through all the problems, and then later they wonder why they can't do a problem like on the test. So it's really important that you ask yourself, am I learning the material? And that's what the quizzes are partly for. If you take the quizzes and you're just bombing those, then you're not getting enough out of the homework. I would encourage you to have a notebook and do the problems that you're doing in my math lab in a notebook by section, write down the numbers, and just writing things down for most people is going to help you remember things better. But also, it's very easy to just watch people do things and think that you know it. But in math, until you do a lot of problems and you do them without help, you really don't know it. And you don't want to wait till the test comes and realize, shoot, I really don't know this that well. All right, so let's see, what else? Oh, for some of you, you may have a background, like maybe you took pre-calculus, or maybe algebra just comes really easy to you, and maybe that's a little bit more than you need. What I would encourage you to do is print out my completed notes and maybe watch the videos in the areas where you don't really know that material, and then go do the homework. And but for areas that you don't understand, you may need to put more effort into that. But the most important driving force you should be asking yourself as you're going through the homework is, am I learning this? Do I understand? I'm really big in teaching for understanding. And so I hope you'll see that comes out in the lessons, the videos that I do. Let's see, what else do I want to say here? So I'll just say there's certainly a lot of other things you can do. I'd be happy if anybody wants to email me, or you can call me and you can tell me what you've been doing. I can maybe give you some suggestions for maybe how you can do better. All right, let's move on to the last one, number 3. So I just, there's nobody likes to fail. And unfortunately, a lot of students think that when you fail, you're like a failure. But the honest truth is, anybody that's shooting high, shooting for goals and dreams, there's going to be times when you come up short. And it's how you respond to those failures that makes all the difference, not only in this course, but in life. I mean, I'll just put it to you this way. There's going to be a lot worse things that are going to come along in your life than having to pass an algebra course or failing a time or two. I literally have had students that failed 3 or 4 times, and then they eventually passed because their goal meant that much to them. Now, I'm not recommending that for you, and most people don't have to do that. But in the end, the most important thing is how you respond to any kind of failure. So here's what I would say to you. You should do everything you can to pass this course. But if you come up short, That's not the end of the world. 20 years from now, nobody's going to care that you had to take college algebra once or twice or whatever it is, especially if you reached your goal. Nobody's going to care. Some of my best students have been return students that for whatever reason didn't get through the first time. Now, right now, this is a summer online course. And so I would just say to you, give it everything you got and get as much out of it as you can. And I hope that if you're really struggling at some point, it'll click and you'll get through the course. But if you start seeing that you're not going to make it, I hope that you'll continue to work and get as far along as you can so that you're setting yourself up for success the next time. Now, some of you may find after the first test that this is just way too fast and you're in over your head and it's just not really helping you out. Then maybe you wait till the fall and you do it in 16 weeks. But again, the big message I'm trying to send here is remember the long-term goal. The most important thing is to get closer to your goal, to learn how to persevere, to figure out what it's going to take to be successful. My oldest son, who's the one that actually just finished medical school, when he was in high school, he would tell you he really didn't study much. And so when he got to college, he had to learn how to study. He said, Dad, I had to learn how to study when I got to college. And so he figured out what worked for him. He was diligent and he worked through things. He did whatever he had to do to figure out how to be successful there. And then when he moved on to medical school, again, he would tell me, Dad, I thought I knew how to study, but anyway, he had to really step it up and he found new things he could do to be successful. The bottom line is you do whatever it's going to take. You ask questions, you get help from instructors and other people that are successful, but you do what you have to figure out what it's going to take to be successful and never give up. And that's a life skill. I mean, when things are hard in life, you don't want to give up on your family. You don't want to give up on your job when you need that salary. Perseverance is important in life. All right, so let's wrap this up here. Let's see. So all I have to say is I'd love to see you all pass this semester. I would never have passed all my students in college algebra class, but I would love for you to be the first one. But just remember, the most important thing is to get closer to your goal. And even if you end up, I've had students that say, oh my gosh, I am not going to be an engineer when I can't even get through college algebra. And they pursue something different. So the bottom line is, it's all about learning and making adjustments and doing what it takes to reach your goals. So I hope that'll help a little bit to motivate you. I hope to see a lot of good scores on that first test, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help.